Hi guys, so today we're going to discuss a little bit about modular construction, modular architecture and container architecture. We have our guest Marcin from Momo Containers, and we're very happy to have him today and discuss the hot topics about modular construction and everything. And Marcin, maybe you can start with a little brief introduction from your side.
Hi, it's nice to meet everyone. I'm really happy that I will be on the podcast, and my name is Marcin. I'm from Poland, but we are based in Sweden for last 10 years, and we are working. I'm architect and engineer. In my background, working in many countries. In my history, mostly as an architect, and for 6 years ago we decided to go in modular objects, and we started from container pools. After this, we decided to make houses, offices and other objects for people from containers. After containers, we came smoothly to other modular objects from different technologies. And we are based in Sweden, as I already named. For last 2 years we are working with on a company, Momo Big Technique AB, and this company is distributing our objects which we produce in Poland in our 3 factories. We have 3 factories that are focused on different modular objects. And yes, this is short with what we do. And now we have already made our models, and all of the objects are done on the website. We are working on a new website, and we are working with sales mostly now, and service for our clients to make them happy and make some adaptations for them. So this is most of our work now.
Oh, that's nice. Well, we are in similar things that we are doing, because Square Meter is also doing the container architecture, container projects. Now we're focusing most on the vertical farming, because we see a huge future in the modular construction when it comes to farming, because well, I think the biggest problem nowadays with the food supply chain globally is that well, a few days back I bought some blueberries from Peru, and I live in Latvia, so this is kind of wrong in my opinion. So I think that the vegetables you eat should be grown right next to where you live or where you actually buy them, so there is no link in the transportation chain for a few thousands of kilometers where everything can happen during that time on the road. Okay, so a little bit more about the modular construction this time. So what is actually modular construction? It's a trendy word now, and maybe you can explain what is modular construction in your words.
Yes, even last week I've been writing little with ChatGPT and trying to ask him what does he think, what is modularity, what will be the future of modular. So I'm talking little with artificial intelligence last times. And modular things, in my opinion, there is 2 words that are the most known words in our areas, and it's prefabricated, what means that the object is made in a factory, because it's already done in some way or complete way that it's 100% ready, or modular homes or modular objects. And modular means, like, I would say Lego. A module, it's about a module for us, for the companies that are producing in Poland and sending objects around the Europe. Module is a transportation dimension. So the standard model, for example, is a container dimension, and it will be 12 meters on 2.5 meters. This is model number 1. And from this model, we can make different objects. And this would be the modularity, in my opinion. So if you will go to, you want to have, as we know, the container has a foot area of 30 square meters. So if you decide to have a house that will be 120 square meters, then you know, okay, then I need 4 modules, because I know the module dimension, like the normal Lego dimension, it's the dimension that fits the cheap road transportation. This is the module 1. Another module, in my opinion, is module that is the maximum dimension that you can transport in the Europe, in the country that you will deliver to. So for example, I know that to Sweden I can deliver object that will be 4.5 meters wide and 7 meters, let's say, long and 4 meters high. This will be also my module, and from this module I can make other bigger objects. So let's say I will take this model and I want to make a house that will have 90 square meters. That I know, okay, the client wants to have 2 levels or entresol like loft above his place. Then I know, okay, I can't use a model that is container model size because it needs to be higher. Then I have to use another model that will be coming ready from factory when we produce, and their modules will be connected in the place, in client's place, mostly on his land. So this is, in my opinion, modularity, and I would simply compare it to Lego. We already buy the Lego, we know what is the size, and the Lego will be connected with the instructions on the construction site, and it's coming completely ready to you. You don't have to paint Lego, you don't have to change Lego. Lego is completely ready, and this the same with modules. You only connect them on the place. And this is, in my opinion, modularity. And what is the best in this is the price, that you already can estimate the price for the module. Like, you know what will be the price for Lego, and you buy it, and then it's coming ready to you.
Exactly. Yeah. I can totally agree with this because I like the Lego concept, because with the Legos it's really easy to install them. But when it comes to Legos and also modular construction, it's also not easy just to install them, but also to disassemble them. It's not as building a normal traditional building from bricks and mortar. When you have it, the building is going to stand there for 100 years. And God forbid that building is never going to be finished. The developer is going to run out of money or have some other problems. And in this case, we see a lot of land plots being just polluted with brick and mortar and with the metal constructions and stuff like this, which is not being used for 10 years because the developer went bankrupt. With modular construction, this is totally different. You can build the building there. If you run out of money, you can simply sell out the Lego bricks as the modular constructions and move them elsewhere. And I think from money-wise, this is a very good point. And also, I think the biggest advantage of modularity in construction is that most, like 80 up to 90% of the whole prefabrication work or modular work you do in the factory. And first hand, this actually eliminates all of the problems that comes in traditional construction, because as you are in the construction site, there can be human errors, there can be casualties and stuff like this. And in modular construction, you still have to keep the standards of your factory, keep the ISO standards and everything high, so you build a good prefabricated unit. And everything is assembled on site, so you eliminate most of the errors that would occur on the construction site. And yeah, I think this is very nice. And also, when it comes to costs, I think most of the costs also arise when you are in a construction site, because there are external factors. There are weather that can influence you. There is a storm. There's I don't know, 2 weeks of rain, and you can still not do a lot of work when it. But in modular construction, you're spending less time on the construction site, so the costs are more predictable in this case. And this is, I think, the best part of modular construction and of container architecture and modular architecture in itself.
I agree. I had few building companies before, and the biggest problem was personnel. The people, the delegations that you have to send them to the place. There is extra transportation. The car is broken. Something went wrong. You don't know where is the shop, the nearest shop by the client. You don't know the prices in the nearest shop. When you produce in factory, everybody goes the same hour to the same place every day. They love their work. They have colleagues. They meet there, and they have a social place. They work, and then they go home. They are happy. They know that tomorrow they will go to the same place. They know that it's warm there. There is the same weather in a factory. And it's really easy to control the environment there. It's not easy to control as a chief of the company your workers when they will go to the different places, it's much easier to control everyone and the production and quality in the factory. And let's see about all of the world now, 21st century. There is no things that are produced not in factories no longer. This is only the building branch that it's still not made in factories. Like all of the products are made in factory, but still not the modules. And when the modularity will come, the whole product will come from factory, like computer, like table, like everything what we have around us. Everything is made 100% in factory, and the building construction business is coming also this way. And this is only good.
Yeah, I think construction business is moving a lot, like every day more in the modular industry, because as you see, normal buildings that are not from brick but from concrete, you can still see that they build these panels in the factories as well, with the electric installation, with insulation, and with everything, and then they just take it to the building site and they need the crane to install it, and basically that's how they eliminate also the human factor and the human error in it. And the modularity is coming a lot more into construction business, which is great.
Yes, maybe it's not good also that we talk about the eliminating of human factor, because like everybody needs job and we are 8 billion people in the world, but these people will go to factories instead of being in a dangerous environment and working in a not known environment. They will have they will work in factories mostly, and they will be prepared for everything what you said. So this is only good, and for sure it will be like prefabrication. This is the word known for a long time, prefabrication, and now it will be more modularity, because we can do it, because there is more companies focusing on it, developing, doing a research and development the whole time, and the branch is it will be bigger for sure, 100%.
Of course. Yeah, when it comes to human factor, I was not thinking we can still never do without humans, because they control all of the things and they have to look after the. I was thinking we're eliminating the human error factor, and in the construction side, the human error factor is a lot higher than in the factory. And yeah, I think we could discuss like maybe the current trends. We already touched a little bit about the current trends, but what are the current trends in modular construction right now? What could you highlight?
What could I highlight? The modular trends for my clients, for example, are the possibility of disconnecting the objects, as you named before, and sell them forward. So most of my clients are the clients that they have business that are season business, like campings, hotels, building companies that they need solutions for their workers, and so on. And they need a solution that will be working for a few years. They don't need anything that will be forever. And this is perfect because they can simply sell it. Like I named to you before this podcast, we are buying used also objects and selling them forward, and when we have our show object, we also sell it forward. So this market is perfect for just having an objects, and you treat it like a car mostly. So I would say that the new trend in modularity will be to treat your house more as a car, that you can lease your house from some company that is making modulars, that this company, as we, for example, can buy your house up to 5 years. So we also give our clients this possibility that when they buy a product from us, standard product, we can buy it back and sell it in our other markets in the whole Europe. The next thing is that cyber nomads. I have a lot of clients that they want to have their house and move it around. So for example, the client that is a IT guy I have now, he wants to have his house first in Sweden, and later on he wants to move to Greece with it. So this is a perfect solution. He doesn't have to make arrangement of moving company and pack all of his things and so on. No, it's just like a shell for him. He will just move his house round. And so this is the new trend. And also I see, for example, young people. I have a client that will buy from a 60 square two modules container house, that they are interested in having it for 5 years. And after 5 years, in this time, they want to build their dream house from 160 square meters on the same land. But the house that they will buy from us will be their house for next 5 years. And after this, they want to sell it forward. So modularity is mostly it's freedom, I would say, that you are not connected to the thing forever like you are now. You are not even connected to your land, let's say. So you can have your land and not destroy it with the ready building and make it from concrete, the heavy installations and so on. You can think just for a few years in front and then make changes. And another trend to not make it longer and make it interesting for you, it's like people doesn't need so much space no longer. Like we are meeting now, I meet you from my home, you are meeting me from your home, and people doesn't need so much space no longer. They don't need studios, they don't need special equipments, because we have our computers, everything is minimalistic now, and people just need freedom now. They don't want to go in a big loans no longer when the situation is not stable, and they want to know the price that they will pay. So this is the modularity. So they directly have the price from us, and they know, okay, I will pay so much, and this is the price. So it's not making problems for them in the end. And I see only positive things. That's why we decided to go in this 100%. And I can tell a lot about the futures and the future of modularity, but maybe it will be some next topic.
Yeah, I think in general we can sum it up that the future is definitely modular, and everything is going that direction. You mentioned before that about the land plots, that people usually they want to have the house for like 5 years, and afterwards they want to build their dream house. This is actually what I really like to highlight to our clients when it comes to bigger construction as well, not just one container house or two container houses or a few models. When it comes to something bigger, we're working on a few residential projects right now, and what I like to tell our clients is that once you build like a modular housing, like modular construction and modular container building for residential purposes, you build it for 15-20 years. It's going to stand there for 15-20 years, and in these 15 to 20 years, you still have the land plot. You're not polluting it. You just usually you have screw piles to put the building there. And after the 15-20 years, when the building is already emotionally old, you can remove it, you can repurpose the materials, you can upcycle them, so it's eco-friendly building as well. You can remove the whole land plot and it's empty, and then you can build something that is modern, that is up to date. Because construction industry and the technologies are evolving so fast right now that it's really difficult to keep up with them. And in 15-20 years, maybe we will have something very huge and something totally different. And so when you build normal buildings, this is the factor, you're not going to build them for 20 years. They're going to stand there for at least 50 years in one land plot. And they get emotionally old for some people. But then when it comes to modular construction, you still have the asset that you can sell afterwards. You can dismantle it like Legos, and then sell each unit or sell the whole building as a whole to some other, and you can still earn money from the secondary sales. And I think this is the great part. You can rent the land plot for 10-20 years. You don't even have to own it. You just have a rent agreement with the landowner. Then you have the building. When you're ready for something new, you move on, you take the building with you, or you sell it. And I think this is something that is really great about the modular construction. You're not polluting the land plot. You can still reuse it from year on. You can develop it differently, and with years only the land plot value increases. So it's just good business, and it's just makes a lot of sense when it comes also from money-wise, not just from ecological point of view.
This is exactly what we do in our hotel in Poland. We are renting the plot. We have 2 containers there, and they will be there for 10 years. This is the arrangement there. So let's say I know that the business will be back in few years, and then I'm earning money, and I don't have to take care of the plot. I can change it in some. With modularity, this is the best. For example, there is an area of the town that you bought a place or around the town, and you think, okay, I would like to live here forever. And then, okay, you don't like one of your neighbors, you don't like the second of your neighbors, there is some production around going on that you don't like. And if you build traditionally and the land price is going down because of the factors that are not made by you, that you have no possibility of change, because maybe the factory of the some bad pollution stuff is going on around you and you didn't know about the plants, or the road will be coming somewhere or something. If you have a modular house, you can always move it. You can just say, okay, I will leave the land, because land is some part of the investigation, of course, but it's not the whole investigation. So you still have your house, and you can say, okay, I don't want to be there for next 10 years because I don't see the place, me there in this place. So I will just change the place. I will leave the land for myself, for example. I will wait for better times, or the prices will go up, and I will still move the house and live somewhere else or do something. So this is perfect for business also. Like you don't know, many people are making businesses. 9 on 10 business will just die, because this is the normal thing. Like the business is for us to just try to make it good, but you never know if the business will go well when you start it. And with modular objects, like for example, I would buy a modular office for my building. For my company, I would buy a modular office. Why? Because then I can move it. I don't have to be forced to do something. Then I can just sell it. I can leave my business. Like many people are coming to us and asking, okay, few years ago I bought a container house from this and this company. It wasn't our company, and they don't want to buy it back. But if you would like to buy it back or help us to sell it, of course we can. And then we help them to sell it forward, and instead of making a drama from my business, they still will get back money, and this is like this is perfect situation for everyone.
Yeah, I think this could become a new way of trading. Now you're trading stocks and trading stuff like this. Now in the future, maybe we will be trading on larger scale markets, modular construction. And this would be something interesting, because there is always secondary market for something like that. And if you don't have the money to buy a totally new asset or a totally new container home, you can always look for a secondary market, which is not worse, because when it comes to containers, the container lifespan is so huge that it can last for 30 years easily. And it doesn't mean that after the 30 years you still have to disassemble it. After 30 years, it just needs some refurbishments and some additional work on it. But it's the same lifespan as for traditional buildings, I would say. You mentioned the Airbnb. Maybe you could tell a little bit, if you're up to it, a little bit about the business details. How is it going? Is it a good business from your point of view? And are you making, I'm not asking numbers, but are you making good money? And is it booked frequently?
It's easy, Peteris, even to count the money that we earn, because you can go on Booking and check how many bookings we have and how much money we take for the objects. So I'm open with this, and yes, it's good money, because we are renting for around 100 euros per night, one object. There is 2 objects, and we had 240 reservations last year on both objects, with around 2 nights every reservation. So it was, let's say, 450 nights booked last year, so it's really good. People love containers. We have 9.7 recommendations on Booking, on 10, in scale of 10, so it's excellent objects, and we are one of the best objects in the whole area, if you would go and check it. And so the business is going well. We will continue for sure. We want to scale it up and add one more container on the same plot. And we have another land that we want to develop also with the same idea. It's really easy. Yes, this is the best business. If you think about business even after your work, because we are doing it maximum 1 hour a day now. It takes no energy from us at all, because the preparations took 2 years. But in these 2 years there was also developing of the product and so on, but it's already done. So if you would buy a product from us or from you, you will already have a ready object. So it was about developing the land, making mostly the connections in the system of booking, Airbnb, and other products that we have. We have website also, and all of the prices has to be integrated. So we have one other system, and we are going on new platforms like SlowHop in Poland. I don't know if you have it. It's about the more the feelings, renting a feelings and so on. So this is another type of Airbnb, mostly for the slow, like, how to explain it, more conscious spending time, like not only taking the booking a place, but booking an experience. Booking an experience.
Yeah.
About SlowHop. So we add an extra things in our containers, like diffusers for aromatherapies. We add a gym there in the place, so people can work out. We have a place for making fires there, and we have a place for children, special place. So you can really easy scale up this business. If I would see for example, that okay, there is no guests, then I would sell one of the objects. But now when we see that okay, there is almost 70% of bookings from first year of the business, because this was, you have to check also, this was the first year of business, and it was 70% of bookings complete. So now we have clients that they are coming back from last year. Also we have clients that they already know about us, because we have websites, we have booking recommendations and so on. So this year is much better when we compare January, and we are looking for bigger and bigger profits from it. So it's really nice. Good business, I can tell you.
That's good to hear. That's good to hear that the Airbnb in containers is working out very nicely.
Yes.
Okay, so maybe yeah, we talked about the Airbnbs, and so maybe let's talk about a little bit about society, because I know that for example in Latvia the society is still very conservative when it comes to different kinds of architecture, different kinds of materials in construction. So there's a lot of people, and not only people but also banks and others organizations that still believe that there is just one way of construction, that there is just brick and mortar and concrete buildings and stuff like that. A few years back, building a container, no, not a container, but a building from wood was a no-go. But now actually the society in Latvia and the municipality and the laws are more elaborate to building like huge story houses, or like 7-story houses just from wood, because in the previous years it was only like metal beams and stuff like that, only concrete, metal, and those were the most durable materials. And so now I can say that this is nice that we're moving into some different direction with allowing wooden houses and allowing like CLT panels and CLT constructions, which is very similar to metal beams in when it comes to strength. And what I can tell that still, okay, the society is coming more and more interested in more accepting the idea of modular buildings, of container buildings, but still there's the huge part of society which is conservative towards these kinds of things. Maybe you can tell from your experiences, how do you think, how is the society in Poland and Sweden when it comes to modular and when it comes to container architecture?
Container architecture, but can you one more time ask me the question? the exactly
When
question?
it comes to society's acceptance of container architecture, are they willing to live in containers?
Mm.
Do they see is it as a container, or do they see the added value to it when it's an upcycled material that you use eco-friendly insulation, that you use high efficiency insulation,
Mm.
and
Okay.
etc.
I'm in. Okay, no, it's still problem, but I don't think it's a problem in people minds or that this is not a good material or something. The problem is that there is not so much information even in Sweden to read about what is the technology. There is not so many companies doing it, writing and showing why and what would be the profit of this. This is the first thing. Another thing that why it's not so popular, modular objects and container objects and other objects made in factories, because there is no financing programs in banks that are financing it directly, because most of the banks doesn't want to give you finance for the modular house. They want to pay in the end. So when we have the problem, when we have the clients that they didn't have the money on their own, they wanted to loan it from the bank. And the banks were always giving one. They don't have it in their schema, in their tables, and they don't see this in their status. How to connect it with the modular house? It's something new for them, and the system for them is still too old. And for example, they don't go on the same. Our payment model is made like this: 50% in front, 50% after the house is delivered. The bank is not willing to pay this 50% in front, because bank thinks that they want to pay everything in the end. But this is too big risk also for the companies making the houses, to make a house custom made for the client, not get even €1 for this before the house is ready in the place, when the company already paid 70% of the amount of the money of the worth of the building. So the private client has really is in a hard situation now with the banks. Let's say this is the biggest issue for us now, that they are not the banks are not educated mostly, and if it will change, that the banks will say, okay, we know the modular houses are good and they are produced there and we can finance this for our clients, everything will change. People will start thinking differently. But now bank is giving only one option: building the traditional way of house, connected to the ground 100%, and so on. There is only one way for the bank now, but it will change soon. So I think that the market is still not ready. That's why we have to work a little harder. All of the companies that are working with modular objects, we work hard to get the clients and to explain to them why it's better, what are the profits, what you can do with the building, and so on. So, and another thing is the living time. Many people always ask me about what will be the living time of the object. And as you named already, 30 years, it's something that we know. But the modular technology is a new technology that is not providing you any historical records. So people are afraid a little. Okay, you don't know how long will it last. Of course, you don't know that it will last 40 years or 52 years or 62 years, but we can predict that, okay, the building is made for, let's say, 50 years maximum. But as we see also in our neighborhoods, like in Latvia or Poland, the prefabricated housing and so on, they were saying that it will last maybe 60 years. But we still see it on the streets, and they have more than 100 years, these buildings, and it's not going to, nobody is destroying them yet, because it's about renovation and about taking care of the building. So the container can last forever, why not?
Exactly.
If you will take care of it, if you will take care of corrosion and make renovations each 15, 20 years, the general renovation, it can last forever. There is no historical records about this, how long will last the modular houses, but we as producers are making it, we want also to make a house that is as good as it's possible for us, also for service. Nobody from us wants to go and make services the whole time. And in Sweden, for example, when we make house, there is a law that's saying that we take care of the house for first 2 years. There is a besiktning after 2 years, the check of the house, and all of the problems, it's we who have to solve, the producer, and we have this warranty for 10 years. So in Sweden, when you build a house with us, modular house, then our responsibility is 10 years. So we would never make a house that it will be destroyed in the 10 years, but if in 10 years nothing happened to the house, I am sure that nothing will happen in next 10 years and next 10 years if you take care of it, and that's all. So interior of the house is completely the same, so it's about only the materials that we are using and how we are connecting them, and we have experience in the steel environment, and we know how to do the constructions, and we see the Eiffel Tower, we see the other objects. It's a modular objects made from the pieces, you know, the Eiffel Tower, and it's standing there for hundreds of years, and it will be there maybe thousands of years. They will have to just conserve it and renovate it. And it's depends of the model, depends of the house, but let's say these are the biggest factors that are still pushing us back, let's say, from the client, because we can have a long discussion with the client. He likes the price, he likes the idea, he likes everything, but in the end he is little afraid, or the bank is saying to him no, or he thinks, okay, how long it will last, and they don't have this data, and the data will not appear in the next 20 years, and we have to know it. The only possibility is to check the similar solutions and how are they working. So as I named, Eiffel Tower, on other steel objects, or the cars, even if you see the tank that is made also from the steel, they can be in museums now for hundreds of years. So it is working.
It's very interesting that you mentioned the durability of these buildings, because if you think about wooden buildings and actually wood fences or any wood material that is being outdoors, you need to treat the wood actually at least once a year to maintain the quality of it. When it comes to metal, you never have to treat it once a year. You maybe have to treat it when there's a little rust coming out, and then there's still, but it's not like you have to treat it every year. So when we compare it to like wood materials, and it takes a lot more maintenance than it takes for the construction container buildings when we compare it like this. And when we think about, like, for example, when the clients ask me like, okay, why choose the container buildings, and why would we build a building from containers that is metal? This is just a material you use. Metal is used in almost every construction that you can see nowadays, in every building, because that's the material you use. And when it comes to container buildings and to modular container architecture, it's the same. It's just the raw material that you use. It's the metal instead of wood, instead of concrete, instead of bricks. And then this is very interesting. And you also touched the topic about the banking and the resistance from banks. Well, from our side, we can say that this is moving in a very good direction for modular construction developers, because actually in the past weeks we had a few talks with the banks, with the insurance agencies, and if few years back they were not open to financing modular construction and container buildings, then nowadays they already have some examples of doing these kinds of projects and financing them. And so we had an answer from the banks that they are willing to finance these kinds of projects. This is also for our listeners, so go to your bank and talk to them, because they are willing. At least I can tell that in Latvia they are willing to finance these kinds of projects. And I can tell that a few years back I was in a workshop for the government that we were discussing the future of modular architecture, and the one question that crystallized during the whole workshop was that there are banks that are not willing to pay for the modular construction, as you mentioned. They just want to go the traditional way. You see it on the land plot that you have walls, they pay for the walls. You see that you have the sewerage, the water, the installation of all the utilities, they pay for it. You have the roof, they pay for the roof. When they see it only there. But there is no problem for the bank and for the authorities to come to the factory and see the work that all of it's done. It's just not delivered to the land plot. When it's delivered to the land plot, you have to pay 100%. But for the manufacturers, this is, as you mentioned, a huge risk. And this is something that none of the manufacturers wants to take, because for most of it, it's at least 50% of upfront payment. For actually a lot of manufacturers, it's you have to pay the 100% of the whole building even before it leaves the factory. Because when it leaves the factory, you don't have the guarantee that the customer is going to pay you at the end. There are cases like that. So.
No, exactly, because the bank will only pay you when everything will be done on the land like it should be. Even if you will write a contract with your client that you will deliver him this product, exactly this product that you named and was on the contract and so on, and you were going on this many times, you deliver these objects. And for example, the government, there was some problem, not from construction side or from our side, but the client didn't make maybe some good preparations with the government, or something is not right, because he ordered a building for 60 square meters and he could build only 55. Okay, what's happened then to us? We don't get money because the building doesn't have permissions to be there. So bank will don't pay the money for the objects. And okay, what we do then? We paid for the building, we paid for the transportation even to the client in our cases, because we have price with transportation and montage. So then this is this is a really bad situation for the producer. You don't know what to do with this kind of building, where to leave it, where it will stand until we sell it, and so on. It's not so easy process to sell a house. It takes few months. It's nobody who is coming to us and buying it like now, poof, we buy a house. No, it takes months. So I'm happy that Latvian banks are doing this, but you have different case, because you are producing in Latvia and selling this in Latvia. But the question is, if you would sell to, for example, Netherlands, what Netherlands bank would say about your production in Latvia, if the company from Latvia can deliver the house to the Netherlands? Because same in Sweden, if there is a company, Swedish company that is based in Sweden for 100 years, and they have production in Sweden, this is different case. But when there is a company based for a few years and have a production in other country, they don't have possibility to go to the factory and check what is the progress of the building. So the system is not made yet for international sales. Let's say, producing in Latvia, selling in Latvia, producing in Poland, selling in Poland, it's completely okay, and banks are doing this. But producing in different country and selling to other country and getting financing from this country to this factory in other country, this is the problem.
Yeah, this is actually why we are moving one step further, actually, because this year we're implementing the financial model. So we're going to have our own peer-to-peer financial platforms. So there is no banks involved, and we can finance our own projects, put them in our platform, and get the financing for these kinds of projects. So there is the elimination of the bank factor, even when the customer is from Netherlands or the US or UK. And so we can finance their project, put it in our website, get the necessary financing, and then afterwards deal with the leasing and with the credit from our own side. So yeah, this is something that we're actually implementing now.
Okay, so you can help also other companies from other countries.
Of course, this is something that we're really looking forward to, because as we mentioned, the banks are the most important factors when it comes to financing, and we have to think about how to make the system better. And this is how we found out that we can help the customers, because the customer is always right, and we always want to help the customer. And this is how we can push the industry even further and eliminate the factor of the financing problems.
Best. Good.
Okay, so we're coming closely to the end of this podcast, and there is one more question I would really like to discuss with you. Thinking about the future, there is always that one project that you might have in your mind, the one project that you would like to do. Maybe you can describe it. What is your dream project when it comes to modular construction? What would you like to build?
Yeah, this will be for sure my house now. the modular object that I will do. This will be the dream thing, because I dream mostly 3 years in front. Let's say I'm making my dreams quite short in the time periods, and the next dream that I have is to, as an architect, I was dreaming about the house, and now as a modular house producer, I'm dreaming about modular house. So the thing will be now to make my own house for my family, and to make it as good as it's possible, and have it as a reference also for other clients, to show how we can build, and what that even we live in this kind of places, because the dream is to live your dream also. Like my dream is modularity, and now I am not living a dream of it, because we are living in a flat that was made by prefabricated parts and so on, but it was made not by me. So my dream is to build in my own house, made in my own factory, and project it like I want, and my family would like to have, and show the clients the possibilities, and everybody would say, wow, this is the kind of house that I want. So this is my dream now.
That's a very good dream, and all the best to you, that your dream come true. And I can tell you from my side, a dream of mine is actually to build the first apartment building from containers in Baltics, and we already have some insights in how we're going to do it. We have the land plot, we have the customers, so fingers crossed. And this is how we want to push the industry, and this is a dream of mine, to build the first, like, the huge apartment building made mostly from shipping containers, and push the modularity, and actually get the knowledge and everything for the society, and show them that huge projects like this can be done.
This is a great dream also. Think big.
Okay, Martin, thank you very much for the podcast. I hope the listeners are going to enjoy it, and I think we discussed a lot of interesting topics, and we'll see you around, and thank you very much for taking part.
Thank you, Peteris.
Thank you. Take care.
Bye-bye.
Bye.